What if one person in your town quietly changed thousands of lives over 50 years and never once asked for any credit? Stay right here to the very end of this one, because this story is about the kind of person we all hope exists in the world, and the extraordinary thing is, he really did. It is April 13, 1921, and the small town of Claxton, Tennessee is waking up to something it has never quite experienced before: a parade. Not a parade for a president, not a parade for a war hero, a parade for a barber. Specifically, for a 71-year-old man named Elias Cord, who has operated the same two-chair barbershop on Claxton's Main Street for exactly 50 years, and who has, for every single one of those 50 years, cut the hair of anyone who could not afford to pay him, completely free of charge, without ever mentioning it to a single soul. Nobody organized this parade. Nobody sent out invitations. The town simply found out, all at once, what Elias had been doing all along, and decided that was not the kind of thing you let pass without making some noise about it. Elias Cord opens his barbershop in 1871, the year he turns 21. He has learned the trade from his father, a man who believed, above all else, that a barbershop is not just a place where hair gets cut. It is a place where a man gets to feel like himself again. That idea stays with Elias for his entire life. In his first year of business, a coal miner named Samuel Pruitt came in on a Friday afternoon. Samuel has been out of work for 3 months. His boots are worn through, his hat is in his hands, and he sits down in Elias's chair and says quietly that he does not have the 15 cents for a haircut, but his daughter is getting married on Sunday, and he would very much like to look right for it. Elias cuts his hair. He does not charge him. He does not make a speech about it. He hands Samuel a warm towel, wishes him well at the wedding, and calls for the next customer. That is it. That is how it starts. Over the next 50 years, Elias keeps no formal record of how many free haircuts he gives. He is not that kind of man. But the people of Claxton keep their own records, the way small towns always do, in memory and in story, and in the quiet passing of information from one generation to the next. By the time someone finally sits down to piece it together in the spring of 1921, the number is staggering. More than 3,000 free haircuts over 50 years. Farmers who lost their crops, miners who lost their wages, widowers who lost their way, boys heading off to war who wanted to look sharp for their mothers, boys coming home from war who needed someone to treat them like a person again. 3,000 moments where one man looked at someone who was struggling and said, with nothing but a pair of scissors and a warm towel, "I see you. You matter. Sit down." The story breaks open in the most wonderfully small-town way imaginable. A young reporter named Dottie Marsh, 22 years old and 3 months into her job at the Claxton Courier, is assigned to write a filler piece about local businesses for the spring edition. She walks into Elias's shop on a slow Tuesday morning, notebook in hand, expecting to fill 4 inches of column space. She walks out 4 hours later with the most important story she will ever write. She has interviewed Elias, who is modest to the point of being almost impossible to quote. She has interviewed his longtime customer Chester Avery, who tears up twice. She has interviewed 6 other men, all of whom tell her variations on the same story. The day they had nothing. The day Elias did not make them feel like they had nothing. Her piece runs on April 1st. By April 3rd, the whole county has read it. By April 10th, people are arriving from 3 towns over just to shake Elias's hand. And by April 13th, his 50th anniversary in business, the town of Claxton had organized in less than 2 weeks one of the most heartfelt celebrations in its entire history. The parade route is 4 blocks long. It takes 45 minutes to complete because people keep stopping to shake Elias's hand, embrace him, or simply stand in front of him and say thank you in a particular way that means I have been waiting a long time to say this. Samuel Pruitt's daughter, now a woman in her 50s, is there. She tells Dottie Marsh that her father talked about that haircut for the rest of his life. Not because of the money saved, because of the way Elias made him feel like it was simply the most natural thing in the world to help someone out. It required no courage at all. Like kindness was just the obvious response. The mayor of Claxton presents Elias with a hand-carved wooden plaque. The inscription reads, simply, to Elias Cord, who understood that a man's dignity is worth more than 15 cents. Elias looks at it for a long moment. Then he looks up at the crowd, and he says, and these are his actual recorded words, "I just cut hair. You all did the rest." I want you to sit with that for a second. 50 years? More than 3,000 quiet acts of generosity? Not one announcement? Not one moment of self-congratulation? Just a man who decided, very early on, what kind of person he wanted to be, and then simply became that person every single day for half a century. You do not have to change the world all at once. You just have to decide today what kind of person you're going to be, and then show up tomorrow and be that person again. Elias Cord figured that out at 21 years old, and a whole town spent 50 years being shaped by it without even fully realizing it was happening. What quiet thing are you doing right now that might matter more than you know? Before you go, I need to ask you something. How many Elias Cords are in your own family tree? How many quiet, generous, remarkable people did extraordinary things and never once thought to write any of it down? Think about that for a moment. Really think about it. Because somewhere in your memory right now, there is a story like this one. A person who showed up, who gave without keeping score, who made someone feel seen at exactly the right moment. Maybe it is a grandparent. Maybe, if you are honest with yourself, it is you. Those stories deserve to be told. Not just remembered privately, but written down, spoken out loud, passed on to the people who will come after you, and need to know that this kind of goodness is real, possible, and runs in their blood. Do not let those stories disappear. The world needs them far too much. Come back to History Sparks every single day, where we go looking for the people history almost forgot, and we bring them back into the light where they belong. This community is built for people who believe that the quietest stories are often the most powerful ones. Hit that subscribe button right now and join us. Leave a comment below and tell me about someone in your life who gave quietly and generously without ever asking for recognition. Honor them right here, today, in this community. Because that is exactly what Dottie Marsh did for Elias Cord in 1921. And look how far that story has traveled. We will see you tomorrow.